Alright, we're back in the next episode. So last time what we did was we designed the level. And look, there may have been an error. Like in the end of my video, when I press save, everything disappeared. Now if that happened to you and you're like, whoa, what happened? Just file, save all, and then close the engine and open it back up. And it should be perfect. So just to get that out the way first. Now the second thing is, I noticed that when I did this little world, I didn't put a door to get to this area, which is this is the final room, but I didn't put a door here. So I wanted to do like the way that we went over last time in modeling mode, and it wouldn't let me. So let me show you that. Let me show you that it won't let me. So in the cube grid, I want to select this part, put a door, and last time all we did was we just push. So you can't do that this time. So how would you get your doorway there? This is how you would do it. So you would get a box here from the modeling mode. We're in modeling mode. Get a box, and you can place it out in your world. Now, I am going to just judge it by the same as these. So it goes all the way up to the top. So I'm going to take it all the way up to this line. I'm going to make my box that tall. Oops, that's a little too tall. So right around there. So all I did was change the height on the box. So it's looking like it's supposed to be like 300. So let's just type in 300. Oop. Okay, and also I want the box to take up 2 grid squares. So let's do that, and let's change the width. Oh, no, not the width, I'm sorry. Width can go back. It's actually the depth, so it would be the depth. Bow. Okay, now that I got this box, I can make it longer, which is the width. Now we can make that here. And I want it to go through this wall so I can see it on both sides. Now that I've got that, all I have to do is click on accept. That box will be yellow. Hold your shift, click on the wall, and then you're going to see this mesh bool. Click mesh bool. Don't worry that everything disappeared. All we have to do is change what it says to operation. So instead of A minus B, we'll do B minus A. And we've got a door. Cool. So got that out the way. Well, you have to accept it. My bad. Let me go back to modeling mode. Let's accept that mesh bool. Blue button. Bow. And now it's there permanently. Alright, so what I wanted to do in this video is I wanted to fix some things. So let's go back to selection mode. And I remember we set up a pause button, we set up a quit the game, and we set up a sprint. We need to go tweak those and update those, because Unreal Engine let out some updates and they changed the way they do things. So I want you to be current with everything. So go to your player character. And what we're going to do is these red things right here, we don't need them anymore, so we can delete each one of them. So the sprint, we can delete it. Pause, we can delete it. And the red one on the quit the game, we can delete it. Now compile and save. Go to your content browser and go to the third person folder. So there's one folder up, and then you're going to find the folder called input. Now this is new. And I just read up on it, so I know what it is a little bit. Basically, these are all your inputs, and these are the input mappings. So if you click on this, it has the jump, move, look. We need to add a few more here. But before we can add one, oops, not that. We need to add a few more here. But before we can add one, it's going to say none. It's only going to give us these options. We need to add an input action. So, come to your content browser and go to actions, and you see they have actions here. Right click and go to input. Then click on input actions. And this will be our first one. We'll call it quit the game. You can't put any spaces here. So, double click to go into your action, and this screen will pop up. And now we can describe it. We want this to be quit the game, and then we want the game input we want trigger when paused, yes. And that looks good. So we can save that. Perfect. And now we can come here and set that quit the game and set it back to our queue. I mean, what do we have it on? Escape? Yeah, set it back to escape. You save that. And last thing we have to do is replace it in our blueprint. So pull up your content browser, go to your third person blueprint here. And for the quit the game, right click and type in quit the game. And instead of clicking the action event this time, we want the enhanced action event quit the game. Boom. And what you're going to do from here is set up triggered to quit the game. And that should work perfectly. Let's test it out before we move on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the sprint and the pause the exact same way. Just make sure it works first though. So we'll press play. We're in the world. Quit the game. It works. Cool. So back in your input folder, we need to add another action, 2 more. So right click, input action, and we'll call this one pause. And then right click and input action again, and we'll call it sprint. Alright. For the pause and sprint, well, at least the pause, we know we need to trigger it when it is paused. Sprint, we don't have to worry about doing that. So we can save this. We can say like pause. You don't have to write the description. It's not needed. It's just if your game gets very large and you have a lot of input actions, then you might want to describe them. But for ours, we're going to make a small game. So now we've got those actions here. Before we go back to our blueprint, we need to go back to our mapping, or input mapping, and we'll add 2 more. Boom and boom. Let's fill this one out first. We'll do this as the pause, and add another one, and we'll do this one as the sprint. For the pause, we want that to be what is it? Pause P. The letter P. And we also want it to be the right special on the gamepad. Perfect. Okay, for the sprint, we want it to be what do we want it to be? Well, left shift. There we go. We want it to be left shift, and then we want it to also be circle. So gamepad face right. Boom. Boom. Now that's set all the way up, all we have to do is come down to here and add those back in. So right click and type in sprint. And remember, choose the enhanced action event this time. Alright, check this. We got to hook this up correctly. So when triggered, we want him to be sprinting. And when completed, so once it's done, once you stop holding that button, then we want the sprint to stop. And actually, let's take this sprint and turn it to like 1,000. And we'll bring it back down, but I just want to test to make sure it's triggered and completed. So let's try that. Yeah, it works. Perfect. Alright, cool. And then lastly, we need to come here, or sprint, blah, blah, blah. We'll add our pause game. So right click and type in pause. And remember, you might not find it, so scroll up, and then you'll see your action, enhanced action value. That's not the one you want, sorry. Pause. It's going to be enhanced action input. The event. There we go. And when you trigger that, that's when you want that to go off. Perfect. Everything is set now. And that's what I wanted to do for this episode. I just wanted to fix those things. And so we're using the updated input controls because it gives us a lot more options on what we can do with it. It's pretty cool. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you subscribe and check it out. Peace.